Okay, HadesOmega here. So I'm cleaning up my garage today, and I got my wheel balancer out, and I figured like, hey, might as well. I'll go over my wheel balancer setup here. So yeah, as you can see, my garage is like quite a mess right now. I've got tires to install and all that good jazz. But this video will be on HadesOmega's wheel balancing setup here. So for my wheel balancer, I have the good old Harbor Freight motorcycle wheel balancing stand is what it's called. Every time I use the stand or balance a wheel, I mark when I put down one mark on it. So I've used this stand to balance 22 wheels on it. So that's how I make my justification to purchase a tool, is if I use it enough times to if I had paid someone to balance my wheels, how much money would that cost, and would it pay off the machine here? And I'm pretty sure I have done that. Usually when you have a tire installed on a wheel, they balance it after anyway. So, but I think some shops charge like $15 to like $20 to install a tire. So you just multiply 15 times 22, and you'll get how much money I've saved by using this stand. So, but there it is. I haven't really done much to modify it at all. It's got a bunch of tape on the sides. These are the tape I use to tape the weights onto the wheel when we're practice balancing. Yeah, so it comes with the stand itself. I think when you get it, you have to kind of assemble it. I think you just have to bolt these sides onto it, and it's got a rod here. It comes with a rod and two collets or collars or whatever, these little conical spacer things here, and these are what center the wheel onto the rod, and you get two of them. So this one is right here, and you secure it using an Allen wrench. So in my kit, I have this little Allen wrench that fits in here perfectly. I don't know if it comes with it or not, but I just have one in there from something. And I also have a second rod. This is a all-thread rod that I bought at I think Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's cut to the right length compared to the other rod. This is slightly smaller diameter than this rod. And what I use this for is for when I balance wheels with smaller axles, like my KLX, which is not in the garage right now. But I use this for, that's the rear wheel. Yeah, there, that one. That front wheel over there. That front Supermoto wheel, that's what I use this for. Because the regular stock one that comes with the Harbor Freight balancer, it don't work. So that's why I have this here. So whenever I use it, when I try to balance the wheels for the Supermoto wheels, that's what I will use. And that's a little trick that I learned, and it works fine. So let's go over what else is in my kit. So I have this little toolbox here that has all the stuff. I'm using Harbor Freight wheel weights. These stick-on dealies. So these are the half-inch dealies. I think they're $6 for like a whole pack of them. So they're pretty inexpensive. You go through them pretty fast. You can't. I mean, I guess you could reuse them. I have a bunch of used weights here, and I'll go over that in a second. And then these are the 1/4 ounce weights right here. And I wind up taping them after. That's what this is for. This is Gorilla Tape. I Gorilla Tape the wheels, the weights to the wheels, so they stay on a little better. So that helps a lot. This is the thinner, the skinnier Gorilla Tape, but what I wind up doing is I peel off how much I need, and then I rip off a little bit, like maybe almost a 1/4 of the tape, so it fits over this nicely. I like to make it nice and pretty, and like, yeah, so it kind of changes the color. You won't even see the weight because it's going to be covered by the tape. And that's a little trick I learned. That's like a little racetrack trick, They tape the wheels to the weights to the wheels, so it stays on there a little better. And then this does not fit in here, but it's good to have some kind of masking tape. So when you're doing the practice weight balancing, you use the masking tape first, and that's what the used weights are for. So I have a bunch of, well, these are just single weights, so like they're kind of easier to get to. This one has a bunch of grease on it, gross. And then there I have a bunch of old used weights. Like you could reuse them, I guess, if you cleaned them up and put double-sided tape on them, but why? You know, it's just a waste of time. But yeah, so these are practice weights. These are the weights that I use. I tape them on the wheel when you're trying to figure out how much weight you need to put on using the balancing stand. And I'll tell you this: it takes a long time to balance wheels with this guy. But you're doing it, you're doing it on your own. You don't have some fancy like snap-on machine to tell you like, hey, this much weight, But it would be nice to have one that would save a lot of time. And here I have silver, or just, it's not silver solder, but this is like the kind of thicker solder that you get for like this is what you use for like brazing and stuff. Well, you could use a soldering iron with this too, but so what I'll do with this is these are my the poor man's spoke weights is what they are. What I'll do is I'll wrap it around a spoke, and then I'll twist it around there, and then that'll be your wheel weight. I don't use them too much because they're a little harder to put on and take off. But here's an example of a spoke weight. Like this is like if you take it to a professional shop to do. This is a K&L one. So basically what they'll do is they'll clamp it onto there, and then they'll squeeze it with some pliers, and it'll stay on there. That's the proper wheel weight. But the Hades Omega Ghetto wheel weights, I use these guys. So, and then basically I'll just put it on a I have a what's the word, a scale. I put them on a scale, and then first I'll figure out how much I need, and then I'll put this on a scale, and then you'll cut off an equivalent piece and then wrap it around the spoke. Usually I'll do this only for the front wheels because there's not a whole lot of space on the front wheels, so we'll put this on. I prefer to use these though. They're easier to take on and put off. But yeah, you can reuse these too. That's a good thing. So basically, you just put it on the spoke around like that, anywhere you want. Then just wrap it around a bunch of times. That's the poor man's. I don't have an example of it. I don't, because I taped some weights on that one. So that one just happens to be wide enough. Yeah, so use the weights here for practice balancing, and then well, yeah, I got a lot of used weights. Crap. Yeah, these are just some weights I've collected over the years. I got this napkin in here, so I don't have it in the kit in my little toolbox here, but I use like some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. So here, this is a bottle of rubbing alcohol, and then I'll use that to clean the wheel, clean the rim before you put stick the weights on. And then I've got this is the marker I use to mark the tools with, to tell you how many times thing, because it's black. Also, you can use it to mark your wheel, to tell you where to put the weight. But also I have chalk too. I have this tire chalk. Now, this is some slime tire chalk right here. And then what you can do is you can just say like you want, if the balancer is saying the wheel you should put the weight right here, right? So you just get the chalk marker and just go, just do a slash down it with the chalk marker, and then you know where to put the weight, and then you can rub it off after if you want. And then I have this little spatula dealie. This came from the Harbor Freight trim automotive trim removal kit. I think it's only like $5 for the whole kit. And basically what it is a shortened version of one of the pieces in there, spatula parts. I cut the other end off so it fits in this toolbox. But this is what I use to take the weights off the bike. So let's see, look at this wheel right here. I'll clean this up a little bit. I'll take the tape off, and then I'll just like use this to wedge the weights off of the wheel. So that's what I use that's what I use this for. Comes in really handy. It's plastic, so it shouldn't scratch your wheel. And then I have a paint marker here. I don't really use this too much, but I could use it if I wanted to. There's some extra weights right here. And then yeah, and then this is just a little toolbox itself. I should probably get a bigger toolbox so I can put everything in there. But pretty much all this stuff fits in here. I think this was in here. Crikey's, I don't remember. Yeah, it all fit in there somehow. I gotta use this with a balancer again, so I'm not gonna put it away. So yeah, that is HadesOmega's wheel balancing apparatus, man. Whenever possible, you know, you should balance your. If you can do it for free, why not? You know, it does take some time. I'm not gonna lie. It's sometimes you're kind of questioning, like, did I really balance it right? Do I have it installed there right? You know, but you know, it's better to balance in it than nothing. You know. But the way I see it is, if you're going over like 50 miles an hour, you should probably balance your wheels. And if you got a rim lock, you should probably balance your wheel, you know. But on a dirt bike, yeah, maybe not, you know. All right, so that's HadesOmega's wheel balancing apparatus. Hope you guys learned something. That's the kit that I put together after many years of motorcycling, and it works great. All right, hits me out. All right, I also want to point out another tool I use when balancing wheels is a heat gun. I use the heat gun to heat up the adhesive on the wheel weights and the Gorilla Tape, so it sticks. It's more tacky, and it helps a lot. So that's another trick. That's another trick and tool I have in my my balancer toolkit is a heat gun.